Good evening. I'm John Hamilton, and I'm here with
Sarah.
And we're back for another edition of the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. Mm-hmm. We are, and we're back in studio, so to speak.
We have been on the road tour.
On the road, yeah.
Sort of.
Hey, and one little exciting thing we found out is once you hopefully get everything worked out, we should be able to go live from Frogtown during the fair. So that should be fun.
Which should be very cool, actually. There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
So if you're walking by and we grab you, we'll put you in front of the camera and
say hi to all your friends on the web.
There we go.
Absolutely.
So we've got quite a few stories to cover today, huh?
Yes, we do.
We do.
A lot has happened today. One of the things that has happened is that there's an announcement that Calaveras County is finally going to have a Parks and Recreation Commission.
Woohoo!
Which is like a big wahoo, because we lose out on a lot of state funding because we do not have an official Parks and Recs commission to filter that funding through.
So you need a container to put the money
into before you can pull out of it. Exactly. So actually, the Board of Supervisors is going to have a study session on May 15th about a new Parks and Recs Commission. They'll be talking about the establishment of the commission. I believe they're going to talk about appointing commission members and then just sort of a mission statement for the commission.
Does it say anything in there about the drive-in movies for Murphy's?
No.
It doesn't, does it?
It's
not officially
say anything. Listed. Not officially listed. I think they're talking about like Murphy's Park, which actually does pretty well.
Yeah.
Turner Park. There's a park they're talking about around New Hogan, I believe.
Okay.
And there's all sorts of these sort of parks in the counties who are sort of suffering because they cannot get at state funds because we do not have this commission.
White Pines Park.
White Pines Park actually could use some funding as well. And
that's a great park.
It is a great park. It is. And it has a beach.
It does.
So for you people who want to come up here in the summertime, we do have a little beach at White Pines Lake, at White Pines Park.
Yes, it's everybody's out there sunbathing and
doing their thing. Swimming. So anyway, so it's kind of a cool little tidbit.
See, I'm gonna ever since Tom Mitchell said that to me, and he's the county CEO, and he's probably gonna get mad at me every time I mention it.
What did he say to you?
That one of the things he'd like to see happen is along the back side of that parking lot by the creek, put a screen.
Oh, that's right.
And that way they could all they have to do is change the orientation of the parking, and that way when there's not a play at the playhouse, they could have drive-in movies.
You couldn't fit very many cars back there, though.
Yeah, but if you're going to show old Laurel and Hardy movies or something like that, I mean, how much, it'd be kind of fun.
They have a movie night at Ironstone during the summer.
Okay, all right.
And they have really good food, too.
That's true. All right.
Anyway.
But that's good. So, Parks and Rec is
definitely much needed, and hopefully we'll be able to grab some of those funds from the state that are now unavailable to us. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, another thing today is I spent a couple hours phoning around to Caltrans, trying to find out what's up with the pass. When are they going to get it open? How come Sonora and not us? We were feeling ignored. Word is that
not unusual in Calaveras County
that the snow has been removed.
Okay.
All right. But there are rocks, boulders, debris, that type of stuff. And one person we spoke with at Caltrans said if you're riding a bike or something, be really careful because there's a lot of. They probably don't want you up there at all, really.
Right now. Yeah. Exactly.
And the official spokesperson said May 15th, but then we spoke to the Camp Connell office, and they said they're shooting for May 11th. So that would be Friday, not this weekend, but the next Friday. And that sounds pretty realistic.
So I lost my bet of this weekend. My salary for this month is gone. I tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to feel it.
Yes. So we're looking at Friday, May 11th as the tentative date for the pass. And I know this is a tough time for businesses along the corridor because ski season's over and the pass isn't open yet. It's they probably got a little bit of bump from the start of trout season last weekend.
That's true.
They need the pass open to start getting those people going up and over and stopping and buying things.
That's true.
They kind of do because we've heard that some revenue about now would be good for lots of businesses along the corridor. So come up here, starting next Friday, and come up here and just fill the wallet up there if you're watching from the Bay Area. You fill it up and then just dish it out at businesses along the corridor, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You can throw it out your window if you want to.
All right. So I guess now we're going from fun stuff like pass opening to abuse, right?
Elder abuse.
Oh, elder abuse
is actually apparently a growing problem, especially in sort of communities where there's a lot of elderly people. But what happened today
is it just a newly recognized? Like, I'm getting older.
It may be a new,
and I'm feeling abused half the time.
You're recognizing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting older and
you're
I'm
recognizing.
Abused.
Yes, that's
so.
You're feeling a little out in the cold there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I qualify.
One of the good things about getting older, though, is that you get discounts, senior discounts.
Great.
That's a positive thing. But anyway, today there was an elder abuse conference seminar out at Ironstone, which was absolutely jam-packed with people. It went from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and when I was out there, it looked like there was at least 250 or 300 people out there.
Wow.
There were a huge amount of people out there.
I didn't realize the magnitude of the problem.
And they had quite a few different speakers actually talking about the elder abuse problem and also some things that can be done about it, and recognizing signs of elder abuse and that type of thing, because apparently it happens from a lot of caregivers and family members. So if you're outside looking in, you can sort of recognize some signs of elder abuse.
So, yeah.
Because a lot of elderly people, they rely on those people and they don't want to turn them in.
Yeah.
Because who else is going to take care of them?
So I guess there's a lot of layers to it, huh?
There's a lot of layers to it. Exactly. So, but it was a huge crowd.
Wow.
Absolutely huge crowd.
I guess a little bit on another fairly newsy story is, this is on the Public Works. The details are out on the embezzlement charges for the 3 Public Works employees. Mm-hmm. And this is actually good news in the fact that it doesn't appear to be very severe. I mean, yes, there was some things that shouldn't have happened. There was some surplus cars that ended up where they weren't supposed to. A couple pallets of cement blocks. But if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, as far as large dollar amounts, no. It looks like this was generally a case, at least in my opinion, of stuff that shouldn't have happened, in a lax environment. Things grew legs, but it doesn't seem to be a real systemic problem at the county. And I think that's a good thing. And I think there's probably a few people breathing sighs of relief because they don't expect any more arrests or anything like that. So there's probably some people down at the
sheriff's department is saying, "Whew, we don't want to arrest any more people."
Can you imagine being in the sheriff? Yeah, because then it's kind of like your internal affairs, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So the buck stops there.
Yeah, so in essence,
essentially.
There's no reason to even mention the names again because you can dig them up on the site. But basically, there was a 1994 Ford Ranger pickup with a value of approximately $1,000 that ended up, it ended up donated.
Donated.
So, yes, it ended up donated to where it wasn't supposed to be. And a set of tires from the county were donated to a private vehicle and...
Yeah, so
so there was
donations.
Yes, unauthorized donations. But I'm actually a little pleased that it's not. I mean, this hopefully will be one of those things that we're done here, nothing to see here, move along.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
move along.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm done with the investment.
Okay, we're moving along.
Yeah, just
we're
kidding.
Moving along. Actually, next story comes to us actually from Dana Nichols at the Stockton Record.
And we like Dana.
Dana is very cool. He is like a true journalist guy.
He is.
He has his hat, he's got his coat, and he's got his brain, which is really good. And he's a really good writer. But he wrote a story in the Stockton Record today about Black Bart's killer.
Aha.
And Black Bart is very famous up here. He robbed a lot of stagecoaches up here. And although,
is this before he started the Playhouse?
I think so. I think so. He was an attorney.
Really?
Apparently, attorneys were not paid well back then.
Yes.
I don't know. Or maybe he did it for the thrill of it. Who knows?
They're paid kind of like newscasters in Calaveras County.
Exactly, yeah. Newscasters and reporters, all of us, yes. But apparently, historians have thought that a particular man, a Jimmy Rolleri, actually, and there's still Rolleris around here, was actually the one who shot and killed Black Bart during a stagecoach heist. But
Really?
a man in Stockton, an 89-year-old retired dental surgeon in Stockton, named Bill Renwick, said that he has manuscripts that prove that his great-grandfather, Reeson McConnell, actually was the one who killed Black Bart. And it was the Wells Fargo stagecoach driver who did it.
So it was the Wells Fargo stagecoach driver that shot
him.
Huh.
While he was being robbed. So he was protecting his stagecoach.
So it was self-defense.
Self-defense. Exactly. So, sort of one of those little historical things that's been upturned.
Very nice.
You never know what's going to happen.
And also coming up, and this is on other, I guess, county business, so to speak,
business, yes.
is there will be held a special election in August for all the districts, right? For the supplemental...
For special districts.
Yes.
There's a lot of special districts, and they're comprised of cemetery districts, veterans memorial districts, those types of districts, and water districts.
So CCWD. Now CCWD has enough influence that it's almost a real district, not necessarily just special, isn't it?
It is infamous.
It is.
It's an infamous water district.
And
if you work for the state, you know what I'm talking about.
If you want to, for District 1 or District 5, and
District 1 is San Andreas, and District 5 is down in the Valley Springs area.
Okay. So if you want to attend fun and exciting CCWD meetings and hang out with all your chums in San Andreas every other Wednesday, right?
That's right, down at the CCWD offices. Then you can
this special election is for you. So anyway. So that's right.
There's actually, there's a lot of good things going on at CCWD too.
Not to pick on CCWD, but they're in a tough spot because
they are.
Municipal districts, water districts, and other utility districts like that, with the increased regulation that is being forced upon them from the state and national level, they are under an immense amount of pressure to comply with a lot of regulatory
with a lot of the
things.
regulations.
And there can be, the fines can be really punitive against, and which really seems, it almost seems that if you have one governmental agency fining another governmental agency, who pays? We just suffer. But it's like, what's the point? It's like we're moving out of this pot to put it in that pot.
And actually, the cost of water distribution in our area, because of the mountains, actually the sheer cost of it is more than in a urban area, which is flat. There's a lot more pump stations.
Right.
There's a lot more lines that need to be run, and fewer people to share the burden of cost.
Right.
So the cost is pretty interesting.
And somebody handed us a complaint letter from a citizen that owns a second home up in Big Trees.
Big Trees Village?
That they are, I think it was Big Trees Village. I don't have the notes in front of me, but what they're a second homer, and they were complaining about CCWD rates because they are getting discriminated against because they never use any water, but they still pay the basic rates.
It's a flat fee, and then after a certain amount, which I can't remember what that certain amount is, then you get paid. Then you get charged even more.
Right, and I guess the thing where yes, they have a valid complaint. If you're not using water, why should you pay? But then the other thing, it's that. That's
when you come up, you need water.
Yeah, but the other thing, if they're looking at CCWD and their internal workings, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the fact that a lot of these residences along the corridor don't put out much sewage or consume much water is actually what's keeping everything afloat. Because really,
I hadn't heard that.
Well, sorry, but actually, because if there was.
There's definitely a spike when it's heavy weekends like July 4th weekend or even Frog Jump. There is definitely a spike at the water and wastewater treatment plants, and the guys who work in them can tell that there are a lot of people around. And it's also, a little tidbit.
A lot of effluent, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
A little tidbit on Super Bowl Sunday. They can always tell when the commercials are on.
No way. From just flow?
From flow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
One of those little tidbits of knowledge that I've gathered through the years. Yeah, they can always tell.
So stagger your trips to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the wastewater guys don't know what's going on. Yeah.
All right. One little last little thing on Board of Supervisors stuff is there was a group of farmers that stood up during Board of Supervisors meeting and were complaining, in some instances justifiably so, about the fees imposed for organic farmers and that type of stuff. And as far as getting scales certified, that type of thing. And I think that one of the things that Supervisor Walensky said that may be a possible solution for some of the small ones is, see, it costs the county if they send somebody out to actually test a scale. So there may be another way to where if somebody actually brings the scale to the office, there may be a different scale. So for some of these farmers that
Who
do
have
farmers
small-
markets
yeah,
and things
small
like that,
scales.
to where they can physically bring them in, and the cost of actually testing the scales, they may make some adjustments. They make it less, and that was one thing that Supervisor Walensky said. So
That would be sort of an interesting twist on it.
yeah,
Because I know with the cattle scales, obviously they
That's
have
a little
to
hard
send,
to bring
they
those
have
in.
to send somebody out.
yeah, a little hard to bring those in. But we'll have the full Board of Soups meeting should be up on the site probably either later tonight, first thing tomorrow. So that way, if you want to watch the public comment session on that, you can watch
The public comment section.
complaining for yourself.
And tomorrow is National Day of Prayer, and at the Government Center. So, if you want to go out and join people in praying for the nation and the state and the local
We need
government,
it. Personally and as a...
yeah, you can go out there at, I believe, what time is it? At noon?
Yeah,
I think it's noon.
I think it is.
So, lunchtime.
Also, there is a, this is down in the Valley Springs area, Rancho Calaveras, they're building a new water tank.
CCWD.
CCWD, while we're still somewhat
Well, they
on-
have to replace all the old tanks. Have to be replaced.
Oh, really?
All the old wooden tanks have to be replaced with metal tanks because there is, I've forgotten now what the chemical is that is created from the combination of the wood and the water.
Oh,
Yes.
so with wine it works, but with water and wood it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It creates some sort of byproduct that supposedly is not good.
Huh. Interesting.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. What else you got over there?
I don't have anything.
Nothing else?
Nothing.
Oh. Should we go to weather?
Except that you just had up there.
Okay, and also another thing, couple things that have been out the last couple weeks that we haven't mentioned is we had posted a story a few weeks ago about a peeping Tom that was taking pictures of ladies taking showers.
In Jenny Lind.
Yes,
Okay.
and or is actually at the school. What's the school over there? Well, anyway, it's it's
school.
there, and he got, or actually pled no contest.
Oh,
so
did
he pled no contest.
Did he get jail time?
Well, it's misdemeanors, so I think it was several misdemeanor counts. So he probably won't.
So he
face,
probably is not going to end up in jail.
probably not, but at least he got convicted, and he's going to be a registered one of those sex thingies.
offenders.
So
Yeah,
that's not a good
true.
thing. And also another thing yesterday.
Really, you think?
Yeah. See, we speak very formally here on the news. Yes, this is proper English. Very well. Another sad note from yesterday is there was a McCollum Hill, or an accident at McCollum Hill that claimed the life of a man from Jackson yesterday afternoon. And this is one where on Highway 49 at Center Street in McCollum Hill, a man that was intoxicated came up behind a vehicle, swerved around. His passenger was ejected and passed away at the scene. And folks, please don't drink and drive. It never
mixes well.
Yeah, I mean, because we get
Never.
and it seems to go in bunches, but we've had way too many traffic fatalities up here. It seems like the last month there's been one every few days. Maybe that's a bit.
I think the warm weather,
Yeah,
spring fever and all that.
yeah, it's
It
just
just is not a good thing.
No.
So it's just not a good thing.
not a good thing.
Not a good
Don't
thing.
drink and drive. So,
And on to the weather.
and my
Or do
wife,
you have anything
my
else
wife
over there?
always picks on me on that because I don't
You don't drink and drive.
But I have been pulled over for it.
How does that happen?
After one Thanksgiving, I had imbibed on way too much cheesecake, and I was feeling the effects, and we were on the way home.
You were drunk on cheesecake.
Yes, I was. I was cheesed out of my mind, and I pulled over. CHP officer comes up, excuse me, sir, have you been drinking? You were weeping a little bit. No. So actually I did get out and do the sobriety test. I did pass.
Did they make you do all that?
They did. I got out, and I did pass, however. So I guess the cheesecake stupor that I was in was not so severe
that you could not take the
test.
Wow.
So I was weaving while driving under the influence of my cousin's cheesecake.
Wow. That's a first. I don't think I've ever heard of that one before.
Yeah, so I'm a lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can't handle too much cheesecake.
So, but the moral of the story is don't drink and drive.
Yes.
And don't drive too much when you've eaten too much cheesecake either.
That's right.
Definitely not. And weather. Are we on weather now?
We're on weather.
We're on weather.
Let's do it.
Okay. Arnold's weather. Chance of rain tonight, 40%, a low of 38 degrees, which is almost freezing.
Almost.
And
I see a couple wispies of white stuff.
Wispies of white stuff. Thursday, mostly cloudy, a high of 50 degrees. And Thursday night, 40% chance of rain, 36 degrees. And I'm going to go right on over to Saturday, high of 61 degrees and breezy.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay, on up the hill to Bear Valley. 60% chance of snow tonight with a low of 27. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 36. Thursday night, low of 25, 60% chance of snow. High of 43 on Friday with a 30% chance of snow. And then Friday night, it is blustery. We actually don't see blustery much.
Blustery. Well, we saw blustery yesterday at the government center.
But actually, it actually says it's going to be a blustery day. There you go. And then Saturday it moves from blustery to breezy. See, breezy's kind of
that's a little gentle. Blustery
will
just knock you down.
Yes, blustery.
Yes. And Murphy's weather tonight: chance of thunderstorms, 40%, low of 43 degrees. Thursday mostly cloudy at 61 degrees. And Thursday night, 30% chance of rain, 43 degrees. On over to Saturday, high of 70 degrees and mostly sunny.
All right, then we move on to Angels Camp / San Andreas.
No, just Angels Camp, and maybe San Andreas will have the same weather. How's that?
Okay, all right.
Two distinct communities. Yes.
All right, 30% chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low of 45. High of 64 tomorrow, a low of 46 with a 30% chance of rain on Thursday night. Mostly cloudy and 60 on Friday, and Saturday a high of 74 for Italian Day. So if you're going to Italian
weather again
with the salami toss and
but no cattle drive.
No cattle drive. Caltrans will not let them drive cattle on Highway 49.
For events.
Right.
But if it was a real cattle drive.
Yes. So technically, if you're moving cows from point A to point B, you don't need a permit. No, you don't. You can just move them on out.
Just move them.
Move.
But if you
move them on out.
Yes.
But if it is a roaming display or something like that, then all of those permit processes come tumbling in, and you're out of luck. So
they also won't let people pretend to shoot each other on Highway 49 either.
They won't?
No. The Wild West reenactors can't do that anymore either.
So they have to do it on the sidewalks?
I don't think they can do it on the sidewalks either. It creates a traffic problem. It's one way in and one way out, and it creates a traffic problem. So Caltrans a couple of years ago said no go.
Okay, all right.
So,
but this Saturday there's going to be almost 5 acres of fun stuff to play in. There's going to be kiddie things.
It should be very cool.
Be a very fun, a fun deal.
Yeah, Italian Heritage Days.
Italian Heritage Days. So
and where is that going to be?
It's going to be at the Angels Camp Museum and Carriage House, and I think the event will also spill over onto the grounds of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
And it should be
a beautiful day.
It should be 74
degrees
in Angels Camp / San Andreas.
No.
No.
And that's our show
That's
for
it.
tonight.
Thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night.